you're all like, so what do you guys think of, I can tell you about Chitara. She's a ho, and I was like, all right.
I think actually what I said is that I've always looked at Chitara as the original Thundercats ho.
That's it. Everybody was dying. So yes, that is you.
Yeah, everybody except Lynn Lipton. She didn't think that was very funny.
Do you still keep in touch with the rest of the crew?
Yeah, of course. We've lost Bob McFadden, who was Snarf. Bob passed away several years ago, and we lost our mum-ra, Earl Hammond. He passed away a few years ago. Earl Hyman, who was Panthro, is no longer active in the business. I think Earl is 90-some years old, and he's retired,
And he was really big. He did Silver Spoons for a while back in the 80s, correct? Am I right?
You mean you mean the TV show?
Yeah, he was on that for a while, right?
He may have been on that. I know he was on the Cosby Show.
That was it, the Cosby Show.
Yeah, he played Bill Cosby's father on the Cosby Show.
That's right.
Yeah, but I do see Lynn Lipton, who was Chitara, and Peter Newman, Tigra, around Manhattan. Because they're both still active in the commercial business, and bump into them at auditions once in a while or recording sessions.
And then you went from Thundercats, you went over to Silverhawks. How did that pan out?
It was the same company, Rankin Bass. Once Thundercats became settled in as a top show, after we had done about a year's worth of that, I guess they decided to do another show. We did 130 episodes of Thundercats, and then, but as I said, before that show ended, we started doing Silverhawks, too. We ended up doing 65 episodes of Silverhawks, mostly the same cast, a couple of new additions. And then after Silverhawks, we did one called Tiger Sharks.
Right, yes.
Yeah, Tiger Sharks, yeah. Basically the same cast again. And then we did a Saturday morning thing on ABC called The Comic Strip.
You played the cat, right?
No, that's been put erroneously on the internet that I was Karate Cat.
So you weren't.
But no, Bob McFadden was actually Karate Cat, Snarf. But I played a character called Boom Boom Burmese in Karate Cat. He was this real big fat cat who was always saying things like, I don't know, Karate. We better go because Big Mama's coming.
And then, did you know there was a song put out with you on it? Like a house song? Did you hear about this or hear it?
A house song? I don't think so.
It's all your outtakes from Thundercats. I was driving the car one day. I was in Los Angeles, and my girlfriend goes, I want you to listen to this song. It's some show called Thundercats. It's all your outtakes of you cussing. And it's
oh yeah.
You heard it then. It's all like.
Well, I didn't hear one that's in song form, but there are two or three on the internet that are people have taken video out, matched up the video from Thundercats with our audio outtake.
Man.
Yeah. So are you up to any new stuff right now? Are you going to be working on any new shows or anything like that, or anything?
Well, I'm still doing commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Still doing Count Chocula and Cocoa Puffs. I'm still doing Skittles. I've been, the Skittles, those crazy Skittles commercials.
Yeah.
I've been doing those I'm on every one of those. I'm the guy at the end that says, feel the rainbow, taste the rainbow.
See, that stuff is cool.
I want to eat something now.
See, I told you do that to people. I swear to God. And I know you worked with Seth MacFarlane on The Family Guy, and he is an 80s, in love with 80s. He puts everything from Transformers and he used you on one segment. How did he approach you to do that, Seth MacFarlane?
Well, my agent called me one day and said, Family Guy wants you to do Lion-O on, for an episode. And I had watched Family Guy, and I thought it was funny as hell.
But were you scared you're going to, Lionel's either going to be
exactly.
gay, he's going to be gay or got AIDS or something?
Well, I said, I know that show, and I can imagine what they want me to do. I said, I don't really think I should do it because I don't want to, upset Thundercats fans.
Yeah.
And my son, who was about 18 at the time, I think, said, Dad, Thundercats fans are 35 years old now. They're not 12 anymore. You're not going to upset them, I said, well, okay, I'll tell you what. Send me the script, and I'll see if I'm going to do it or not. I got the script, read it, and I said, absolutely not. I'm not going to do this. But again, my son talked me into it. He said, Dad, it's a show that's on late at night. It's not fun at school like Thundercats used to be.
Yeah.
And if little kids don't watch this show, you're not going to offend anyone. I said, well, okay, I'll do it. But after I did it, I couldn't. I was so nervous I was going to start getting emails from Thundercats fans that hated me, and I did. Of course, everybody loved it. I ended up doing my part from a studio in New York, with Seth on the phone in California. So I never even got to meet him.
How did you when you came up with these voices, like for Lion-O? Did the producers say, did they show you a picture and then you imagined this voice in your head? And
well, if you think of it, Lion-O is really just my voice. I mean, it's not a quote character voice at all, and that's what they wanted for the Thundercats themselves on the show, because we were half people, half cats, So they didn't want us to sound a cartoon character. If you think about it, none of the Thundercats actually sound like a cartoon character. Maybe Panthro a little bit. It was the mutants who sounded like, each of us played one of the Thundercats, and we played one of the main mutants, and then hundreds and hundreds of voices, because there were five of us in the cast, maybe six at certain times, who did all the voices, hundreds and hundreds of voices. So the mutants, I ended up playing Jackalman, who sounded something like this. We must get the Thundercats.
I didn't know you played him. Wow. Who else did you do?
Jackalman. Yeah. Oh, I have a list here somewhere. I was Safari Joe. I was Rataro. I was.
Wow.
I have them on a computer somewhere, but I forgot.
Don't worry about that. But Mike has a question. He pulled up some tidbit of information. He wants to ask you something. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was addicted to VH1 for quite a while. And,
yes.
And didn't you announce Best Week Ever?
I have for on several different occasions. That show ran for about 5 years, and then they took it off for a year, and then it came back on for 3 years, and they took it off again. And at any moment, I'm thinking they might call me back. Yeah, the show was called Best Week Ever, and I was the announcer, the narrator. The guy who said, "It's the third week of April, 2014, the best week ever."
That featured. Now your daughter was with the crew, the Slate, right? The comedy troupe, and there were a lot of people from that troupe that appeared on that show to do their comedic.
Yes, that's right. I think Ian Black was on it from time to time, and Ken Marino maybe was on it. I'm not really sure. I was on the state. I was on the state too. I was the announcer on the state.
Oh, that's right. That's okay.
And I was again at the beginning. Said, and now MTV presents the state. This is not a very big part, but they had to pay me every week, But and then we did during the run of that show, we did several commercial parodies. Where I was either the announcer on the commercial or one of the voices on the commercials.
I love. After the state died, didn't she do Viva Variety?
Did Viva Variety? Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That was such a crazy show. And she did like a French accent.
Mr. and Mrs. Le Pen. The former Mr. and Mrs. Le Pen, yes. And then, of course, Reno 911.
Yeah.
And she's now, she's done a lot of movies, She was in Wanderlust a couple of years ago with Jennifer Aniston. And a lot of the guys from the States. They still work together, a lot of them, all the time. They did Role Models.
Role Models.
Did, Ping Pong one. What was that? Balls of Fury.
Oh,
that's a lot of movies together. Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that.
And she's been very funny on At Midnight too on Comedy Central. I've seen that a couple. She's
and she's on. She was on Chelsea Handler quite a few times. In fact, she and Chelsea Handler are working on an internet show. Whorehouse out in Arizona or somewhere. And Carrie just called me last night. She's going to be on a new show with Sarah Silverman as Sarah Silverman's sister on HBO.
Wow!
Whoa!
They're filming the pilot. They're filming the pilot in a couple of weeks. I'm very proud of her.
Wow! So the Hollywood bug has just gone from family member to family member. That's great. That's great. So anything, if everybody wants to reach you, what is the best way to reach you? You have a website set up, all that good stuff?
I don't have a website. I have a Facebook page, which is where most people contact me. Just my name, Larry Kenny, of course. And there's several Larry Kennys on there, but if you see the profile picture with me, with all my characters around me, a montage of,
if it's an ugly Larry Kenny, it is not the real one. If he's delicious looking, he looks like he eats Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah,
it's the real Larry.
Good-looking dude.
Good-looking dude. That's it.
And then my email is LarryKenny1@yahoo.com. If anybody wants to email me.
And my personal address, if you want to come right up to my house and knock on it. No, seriously. But I got to tell everybody, and this is why I wanted you to be the first person of this show, and this is the first interview. You are the most.
Really?
Yeah, you're the first person. My boss is going to tell me if I'm going to keep the show on the air or not based on you right now.
Oh, geez, don't put the pressure on me. Well, at least,
I'm screwed. I'm screwed, Larry. I'm really screwed. I'm a hoe. No, but seriously, you are so tangible, and that is not the natural. I mean, even if you go to Comic-Cons, and I am a fanboy, I love your Star Wars, I love Thundercats, I even like Voltron, all those things. Yeah. You come up to you and you ask you a question, you sit down and you talk to people, and that's what makes you just a great person and a great artist at what you do. So I appreciate you being on here. I really do.
Well, thank you, man. It's my pleasure.
No, I really appreciate it.
And I'll take some of that pressure too, Larry, if the show.
Okay, Mike.
Because I'm here as well.
No, I appreciate it.
I mean, I don't mean to be an ass, but if it falls flat, I don't really care. I'm in New York, baby.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for joining us today. Real fast, we wrap up the show. Jason, am I saying his name right? Jason Momoa, is that his name? Moa or is it Moa? He's the Aquaman.
Momoa.
It's Momoa.
Momoa.
I don't know what he's from. Everybody says, "Oh, he did all these other." I've never heard of him. I mean, he looks great as Aquaman, but they have a new Aquaman.
Do you know what he looks like in that picture? He looks like John Travolta from that Battleship Earth movie.
No, he looks like what's his name from Zombie Girl. That song Zombie Girl.
Oh, can you sing it?
No, he did the movies at Universal Studios. He's a singer, a rock star.
Zombie. I'm thinking of the Cranberries with zombies.
No, that singer, the rock singer. I forgot his name.
Zombie Girl.
What the hell's his name?
You smell really
Rob
bad.
Zombie. He looks like
Rob Zombie.
He looks like Rob Zombie. His name's right there. He looks like Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys have no idea what we're talking about, go to the website, yournerdside.com. We have all the pictures up there. We got to wrap up the show because it's running a little long. We had a great time today hanging out with Larry Kenny. Join us next week. We've got Stan Lee coming up. We've got Chris Elliott, and I've got other guests that are coming in, and a few that possibly said they'll come in studio, so join us. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. It's all on the website. Next week, we're talking about Walking Dead. Stick around because we're going to try to get Chris Hardwick in here. We are talking to his people. We'll see if we can get him on here, and we can get the Nerdist to talk to your nerd side. You never know. We'll talk to you next week, and make sure to follow Mike at Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike'sDailyPodcast.com.
The show, it's a show.
It's bizarre.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks.
All right. Take care now.
How could you let them go?
Most of this country probably wants him to go away.
There's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time.
Take care now.
Mommy, could we please talk about this later?
Bye-bye then.
In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, my baby, bye-bye.